check and see if we are live. Yep, we are live.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All
All
right.
right.
Go
Go
ahead
ahead.
on.
All right.
I
I
just
just
sent you
sent
a
you a request.
request.
Let's see in where. Okay. Hey y'all. I almost forgot to hit live. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Becoming Her Live. And I have someone who is near and dear to me. Miss Sandra, Coach Sandra is what I call her. Y'all might know her on Instagram as Funnels with Sandra. And I want to tell you guys, if y'all see me looking up and down, it's because I'm on Instagram. We're on Instagram, Facebook. What else? Two groups. We're on YouTube. We're on all of the things. So hey. And so if you're on Facebook Live, I'm still trying to figure out this comment. Oh, here it is, comments right here. There we go. So now I can see all of your comments here. Okay. So we are good. Let me just make sure. Yep. They're rolling in. All right. So as if you tuned in last week we did an interview, and what I want to do is spotlight entrepreneurs and talk about their transition seasons. I think that there are a lot of people who are going through transitions, and they don't quite understand what that is. And so you can mistake your transition season for a place where you feel stuck, a place where you feel stagnant. You don't think that things are really moving and going the way that you want them to go. And so I just want to bring like real, raw, live conversation to you all so that you really understand the essence of what becoming her is. And all of this right here, y'all, I gotta tell the story. I gotta tell the story before we even get in it. So I joined the Built to Impact coaching program with Maya Eloise after I went to um, Impact Weekend in what was this 2023? So 2022. Yes, in 2022, it was my first like big coaching program that I joined, and they were like, "We're gonna get paired with coaches, and we always pair you with the right coaches." So me and my used to be like very pessimistic self would be like, "Yeah, we'll see," because just my luck, I'm gonna get somebody who I'm not gonna vibe with, and it's just gonna be off. Well, God was like, "Okay, I'm gonna show you wrong," and I got paired with Coach Sandra. So we were supposed to be going over all the things, and I came to her and I was like, "Listen, I feel like I'm multifaceted. Like I don't feel like there's just one particular thing that I can do." And then I started to talk about how I really wanted to go into um, basically coaching women in business from a spiritual aspect, like bringing in kingdom into that, more of that in business. And I'm like, but I'm scared to do it. And she literally, when she told me, she was like, "I see that. I definitely can see that." And she was like, "You are multifaceted, and I don't think that you have to stick to one thing." And then we went into it, and it just really released me, like, to start thinking about, can I really do this thing? Now, of course, we know how disobedient people are. Me, I'm still like, well, okay, well, I'm still gonna go and teach people how to start boutiques, even though I loved it. I hated it all at the same time because I knew it just really wasn't what God was calling me to do in that moment. And so, although I did it well, it was just because I knew how to do it. It still was not fulfilling to me. And it wasn't until literally God forced me. He literally like shifted my whole entire life. Um, Things in my boutique went from amazing to just like, and I was forced to come to the decision of, do I keep it open or do I close it? And me and God had to sit down and have some really deep talks. And he was like, "This is not what I'm calling you to do anymore. You did it for the amount of time that I needed you to do it, and now it's time for you to move to something else." And just going through that was just so heartbreaking. But because of the conversations and the coaching sessions that I had prior to, literally my stuff was lined up, and I was just like, well, it's no time better than the present. I'm just going to go ahead and jump into this thing. And it turned out to be everything it was supposed to be. And I'm like, this is what it feels like to fully walk in your purpose and be in the marketplace being purposeful. Because I think a lot of people miss that. So I just wanted to tell that story because I had to show you, let you all know how dear the relationship and how close the relationship that I have with Sandra. And it's been over a year, and she still checks on me. We still keep in touch. Like, she can't get rid of me at this point. Let's just say that. I am here. So what I want you to do now is introduce yourself to everyone, and if you can talk a little bit about the transition that your major transition that happened in entrepreneurship.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. First of all, thank you for inviting me. I love that we get to connect. Um, I love that you shared that story, mainly because it is a trend. Okay, how about this? There is a strong connection. It wasn't like some, oh, she was part of a program and my duty was to check up on you as a coach and all of that. It wasn't none of that, really. It was me genuinely caring about you winning, right? And it was me saying, why are you not doing the thing you told me that you're passionate about doing, right? And me wanting to hold you accountable to that, and me saying, I know I'm gonna have to come in and shake you up a little bit here and there. And that's what my drive-bys are all about, checking in and seeing what's going on. Did you do the thing that you said you're gonna do? Because when you told me about it, you were super passionate about it. And we get very stuck in the whole mentality of I gotta, sometimes we're just running on fumes.
Yeah.
Literally, that's what we're doing. We're literally trying to thrive, but we're seriously just surviving. And so, again, thank you for inviting me. As Jess said, my name is Sandra Ocasio. I am a digital marketing strategist. I also am going to be looking on two screens because we are streaming on a bunch of things here. um, and what I do is I teach online entrepreneurs how to launch their digital products through systems, automation, sales funnels, and all the things. But I love that you are, inviting me because there is a huge transition happening with me right now. And what I think is beautiful about this particular transition is that I'm giving myself permission to do it even when I don't know all the steps that I'm supposed to do. And I love that we're able to share that in real time. Like, legitimately, in March, Holy Spirit was like, hey, so get ready because your next season, you're not going to be supporting people in English anymore. You know how scary that was?
Wow.
Like, legitimately, him telling me, you are no longer going to be supporting people in English. You're going to have to go ahead and make sure you sharpen up your Spanish because
Woo.
in this next season, you're not going to be talking to folks in English. And so I love that this is what we're talking about because becoming her is literally me standing in the gap right now, realizing this is what's happening, you
Yeah.
know, and it's big. So I'm excited for what's ahead. I'm excited. I know that he's revealed to me step 1, 2. He has not revealed to me step 1 through 10, and I'm okay with that because
Yeah.
when I'm obedient to step 1 and 2, he's going to continue revealing more. And I think that's what we have to come to terms, that he's not going to reveal the whole blueprint right in one spot. He's only going to say, I need you to be obedient to the first thing. And when you do the first thing, then I'm going to go ahead and say, I know you committed. So I'm going to reveal a couple more steps. And we tend to say, but I need to know the end result. And that's not what it's about.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm going to need you to pump your brakes and know that I got you. So
Yeah.
I trust him, and I'm trusting in what he's telling me that we're doing in this next season. And so I love that I'm able to share that. I haven't shared that publicly. This is the first time I shared this
I'm
publicly.
honored.
Um, Yeah, and it's scary, right? To even think like telling people. I was telling people I just flew in from a conference this weekend, and I was even saying that in at the conference, like this next season, I'm not going to be supporting people anymore in English.
Ooh.
And people were like, "What the hell is she going to be talking about then? What you talking?" About? And so I was like, "Yeah, my next season is going to be my Spanish is better than my English, just to give you perspective.
Mm.
Spanish is my native language, and so I'm excited about what that looks like. You know, I'm excited
Yeah.
about the new people I'm going to be serving, and it saddens me, but at the same time, I'm super excited. So
Yeah.
that's what we're doing.
I want to hit on like two things that really just like jumped out to me. The first thing is, I promise, no, I want to say promise God, but like I legit, before we got on here and before my daughter came in asking me to help her with homework, I was literally getting ready to record a video about how God gives us the vision. He gives us the end, but he doesn't reveal the process. And how too many people want to jump to the end, and think that when it's not happening during the process, that means it's just not happening. And then so when you said that I had to do it, and sometimes we don't even know what the next step is, we just know what the first step is. I was like, oh my gosh, talking about language and um putting language to that, like I feel like one thing that most entrepreneurs are scared to do, like they feel like that they have to have everything lined up, and that stops them from starting. Like, I got to do this, I got to do that, this, and no, I'm not going to do this because I don't know what it looks like in this season. I don't know how it feels in this season. I don't know any of these things in this season, and then it keeps them from moving forward. And so I think more people need to hear that no, we just start. Like, this is what faith really is. It's like God tells you to move. He says, do the thing, and you just start. And as you um, move forward with your action, he's like, okay, you did this. Now I'm going to reveal the next step. And then the other thing that I wanted to really point out, I think I lost you on IG, Sandra.
I think so too, but I just requested myself
Hold on.
again.
Okay. Let's see. Does it still show your live on IG?
I'm not showing. Yeah, I can see myself with you here on Facebook, but I just requested myself again.
Okay. There we go.
Okay,
Just accepted.
yes.
Okay. Now we back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, hold on, I gotta cut this volume back down. And so the other thing that I wanted to point out is the fact that you God told you to let go of something that you were familiar with. That, like, you want me to do what? And then the feeling of, am I leaving people out? Am I leaving people behind? Like, what are you saying, God? And trusting the fact that he's going to do what he said he's going to do. Like, it takes a lot. I was listening to Darius Daniels today, and I about fell out because he was like, it takes more to quit what you're doing that you're good at to start something. And I was like, oh
Mhm.
my gosh. And I think that hinders a lot of people from transitioning into their new season because they don't have the capacity to quit what seems like is going well in order to walk into the unknown, which is really exhibiting that blind faith factor. So I'm so glad that
Absolutely.
you pointed that out. Can you talk about
Yep.
some of the feelings that you
Yeah.
had when it came to, like, saying it, like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm talking to people in my native language, and I'm not going to be
Yeah.
coaching in English anymore.
So I love that you stated that. So let me give you a little bit of context, and I'm gonna obviously share with you the feeling. In March, Holy Spirit revealed to me, I need you to become the Hispanic. And he said a person. I'm not going to say exactly who that person is, but I need you to become the Hispanic this person, right? We'll just put a name to it, right? A person that teaches people in Spanish what you're currently doing. Like, it's not like he said, go learn a new trade. It's like he said, go do it, but I need you to do it in a platform where you know for a fact that I've been supporting the, you know, the women of color community, black, brown, Hispanic, Asians. Like, I am all over this community. That's who I've been supporting the last 7 years,
Yeah.
right? And so to hear that, I was like, wait, am I leaving? I'm not leaving them behind. I'm just now transitioning to now supporting Hispanic, right? In Spanish, my native language. So I sat with it for a little bit. And I was like, man, I think he's bugging. I argue with God a lot, which is funny because he still loves me, right?
Right.
And I'm constantly like, but I need more. Like, oh, I don't know how many of you, if you're anything like me, you're probably asking for all the signs. But I need another sign. But I need another. Tell me, send me another confirmation, right? So I was like, I'm listening. I'm not being disobedient.
Mhm.
I'm stomping my way through the obedience,
Yeah.
right? And I know I told you this. I'm in my immediate obedience season. So I started doing my research and I started reaching out to people and I started Googling the same thing he asked me to become, and I couldn't find that person. I couldn't find a person to even say, let me go mentor with someone, let me go talk to someone. But it's not like I need mentoring in what I'm an expert in, is I need mentoring in making sure that I'm polished enough to say it in Spanish and sound proper. And you know, I like to be humorous. I like to be very funny. I like to
Yeah.
entertain. So I wanted to make sure that I was, you know, in that space. So I Googled that person and I couldn't find them. So I said, well, you know what? Let me go find something close to that. And I connected with someone that does branding and does something very complimentary to what I do. And so when we started talking and her and I started collaborating, she was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. You know, this is going to open up a huge platform. And I was like, okay, so I'm excited about this
Yeah.
because now I'm seeing that someone else is doing it, but she's like, what I teach and what you teach. And in that moment, I saw us both on a big stage. And I
Mm.
wasn't talking about a big stage like 200 people. I'm talking about thousands, like arena stages. And so I was like, okay, I see the vision. I'm going to continue. And so, you know, I left it at that. I had a trip. I just came back from Colombia, as I think I shared a couple of stories that I was on my anniversary, my 10-year anniversary with my husband of us being together. And so we went to Colombia. But a couple of days before I went to that, this is the power of community. And I want you to hold on to this. I jumped on a community meetup that I normally don't end up jumping on. But I was like, you know what? I want to support my friend. Let me jump on. There's about 4 or 5 people there. And she said to one of the ladies, can you please go ahead and introduce yourself? And then the lady was like, yeah, you know, I'm from Bogota, Colombia. And I was like, ooh,
Huh?
I'm intrigued because, you know, she's from where I was born. And we got to talking. And she said something, we connected offline. And then she told me, she's like, my company is looking for someone to come teach us in Spanish about marketing and funnels and systems and automations. And I was like, oh, so that was the confirmation I was asking for. But okay, okay, I got you. I got you. So sometimes it's super scary to let go of something you know is working. Like you said, you know it was working. Sometimes we also get comfortable with being
Mm.
uncomfortable, but he's stretching us to be even more uncomfortable. And so this is what I love about being uncomfortable, that I used to say I want to be a speaker, I want to be a speaker, but I wasn't speaking nowhere.
Right. Right.
And then it was like, okay, some of y'all are saying you want to be something, but you're not willing to push out of that uncomfort zone. You know what I mean? Uncomfortable zone. I'm willing to look stupid to get where I need to get to,
Yeah.
period. I need to be good at becoming a speaker. That means speaker speak, right?
Right.
So what did I do? I hired a speaking coach. I hired the proper support that I needed to get me to the place where I'm going to be comfortable. I hired a therapist. I hired all the people that were going to help me be able to tell my story, right?
Yeah.
And every single time I tell my story, I now heal a little bit more. There
Mm.
was part of my story that I would hide because again, I was uncomfortable saying I had suicidal thoughts, right?
Yeah.
I just started sharing that. And when I shared that I overcame having a suicidal thought, right? More people were reaching out and saying thank you because your story resonated and because I thought I was alone and because I thought I was. So I say all of that to say that sometimes we're so scared of moving from where we're currently at because it's comfortable, even though we're uncomfortable in that,
Right.
all because of the unfamiliar, like it doesn't feel familiar. And I'm like, man, I'm uncomfortable. You already put me here. I'm on, like, it's literally like being naked and afraid, right? Where
Listen,
you just don't know. You
exposed.
don't know. Exposed, exactly. So I'm excited. Like, I think that now I'm at a place where I'm constantly thanking him for trusting me with more. As Dr. Daniels says, Darius Daniels says, it's another level of trusting. It's, we're always talking about us trusting God, but God is trusting us
Yeah.
with something, and that's a whole nother level, right?
Yeah.
It takes a whole nother level for him to come and just not trust you with blessings, but he's trusting you with hard times. He's trusting you with all these things, and some of us shy away from that.
Yeah.
And so I'm just excited about what this next season looks like, because I know that I don't know all the steps, but I know that they're going to get revealed to me as I continue to be obedient.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about being in this journey and not so much the actual vision of the stage, because I know that'll maybe he did give me a glimpse of the bigger picture. It got me excited, but I am in love with the journey that's
Yeah.
ahead, and that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Like, don't discount the journey. Like, the journey is the most important part, because within the journey is where we see the grooming, where we see the maturing, where we see the healing and the transforming. The journey prepares us for the place that we're going. And, you know, I love like how you mentioned transparency, because transparency literally set me free. Because what I really didn't understand was that the shame that I felt, the embarrassment that I felt, that was all implicated in my own mind. Like, I literally was holding myself hostage because I told told myself, like, oh, they're going to say this and they're going to feel this and I'm not going to be this way and people won't look at me the same and all this and this and that and the other. And it was just like, first God was like, first of all, who do you think you are? Like, who do you think you are that you were just so high and mighty that you can't ever go through something? Like, why
Mm,
does the fact that you're letting go of something, or you have to close something or give up something, why does that make you feel embarrassed? And why does that make you feel ashamed? And it's because you found your identity in that thing. And admitting to, saying I had suicidal thoughts, or I'm admitting to I was depressed and I had anxiety. Like, I didn't even want to come out the house. And God is like, no, you are human. And this is the reason
mhm,
why I gave you my son, so that you can find strength in your weakest moments. And see, we get so caught up in the appearance of, I blame everything on society. Like, society is the cause of everything. Society is Satan.
mhm. Yeah.
And we get so caught up of having these picture perfect lives, and we have to have picture
Mhm.
perfect thoughts and picture perfect receipts and all of these things, when in fact the journey looks nothing like that. And so when we hold that stuff in, not only are we tearing ourselves up inside, but that person who's waiting for somebody else to come out and say, hey, like, I didn't want to be here anymore, but look at me.
Yeah.
Like, the hope that that gives to somebody, we forget about that. And God, for me,
Mm.
transparency was like, guys, like, this is not about you. Like, while you're sitting
Yeah.
here worrying about how people are going to look at you, he said that's so self-centered and that's so selfish, because it's not about you. I've allowed you to come to this so that I can take you through this, so that I can show people what I can do if they really just bring me into their lives. And so I had to start talking about it. And you are right. Like, the more you talk about it, you literally heal from it. Like, it becomes a non factor, it just becomes a part of your story. And it really doesn't have like a hold or an effect on you anymore. And so now I'm verbally, like in my group for Bible study, I'm verbally talking about how sometimes I get mad if I go into the shopping center where I used to be. Like, I'm
Mm.
upset. And I'm upset because I'm like, why do they get to stay open? Like, I'm the only one who's closed down. Everybody else is still there. I'm riding down Divine Street and I'm like, here they are, new inventory in the window. And here I am, store closed, you just doing my inspirational teas and stuff online. And God has to gather me really quick. But he said, I do allow you to go through that process because you need to know how the people who you're called to help, you need to know how they feel in those moments so that you can help them. So, I mean, that's, that's so dope. And the fact you told, like, I would never, ever, I would never tell or be able to know that you actually had those thoughts. Like, and then, hold on, first of all, let me tell y'all something. She was operating in immediate obedience, and all of this time dealing with whatever she was dealing with, and still checking in on me. Like, how are you doing? Are you okay? Let me know if you need something. And it was one of those moments I was literally on the bed, like, I was just out of it. And I get a message from Sandra, saying she had this dream. And I was like, at this point, I'm desperate. Like, what was the dream? Just, I need something. I need something, God. And when she told me what the dream was, and then she followed it with, whatever you need help with, I'm here. I wept. Like, I wept because it was like God heard me. I wept. It was because, like, that was a sign, like, no matter how far gone you think you are, I'm still in control. And it literally got me out of that funk I was in. And I've literally been on go since I got that message from you. Like, I've been like, no, no, because he has shown
What?
faithful. Yes, like, that is the honest truth.
Wow. Oh my God. Well, first of all, thank you. Thank you for letting me know that. See, this is what I'm talking about, right? Like, first of all, can we acknowledge you for a second, right? Because what you're going through also is a whole transition. And I want you to give yourself permission to grieve the identity that you had attached of being a boutique owner and now having, like, you need to grieve that.
Yeah.
I had to give myself permission, and I talk about this is the story that I share on stage when I get invited to speak at events. I talk about walking by a closet full of corporate suits when I left my corporate job, walking by a closet full of corporate suits that no longer fit me because I was no longer in corporate. I was now a stay-home mom with a bun, 40 pounds heavier, and I was trying to figure the shit out from home, right? Like, messy bun, the sweatpants and hoodies and all the things. But I identified my identity was rooted in being able to wear high heels, suits, walking a casino because I used to live in Las Vegas. I used to be the payroll lady in Las Vegas, right? And so now I was the stay-home mom with a bun, and it was literally a huge transition. And this is where I ended up in a mental institute. I had a moment of weakness. I had a suicidal thought. I knew I needed help, right? I knew that I needed professional help. And it's so easy nowadays, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional, I'm not any of that. I'm just sharing my testimony. But it's so easy for people nowadays to take. I advocate for myself because when I left that mental institute, I left with 7 different medications I couldn't even pronounce. And what I knew was that what the cause and effect of that medication, what it was doing to my body, was gonna mess me up even more mentally.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hell to the no, I don't want to take this. And it literally took 1 hour of talking to a psychiatrist after leaving that hospital to realize that. Does it sound like feedback to you on your end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, now it's good. Yeah.
Okay, got it. It and this is listen, this is the enemy trying to stop the story. So I left that. When I spoke to him, he told me they gave you enough medication to sedate 4 people. Stop taking that. He's like, you didn't lose your mind, you lost your identity.
Mm.
Right? And when he said that to me, everything changed because I was like, you're right. He's like, you have not grieved. You literally got married. 2 weeks later, found out you were pregnant. 2 weeks later, your husband went off to Korea. And then a year later, you left your corporate career that you've been working hard for the last 12 years. It was literally a season after a season after a season. And if you were raised anything like me, then you were like, shut up and get over it.
Yep. Yep.
Right? So you never got a chance to actually grieve who you were,
Yeah.
right? And so for me, that was very, like, it cut me deep. And when that doctor said to me, you did not lose your mind, you lost your identity, I was like, dang, that's all I needed to
Woo.
hear, right?
Mm.
Grieving does not only come after a divorce or after a death.
Yeah.
That's the truth, right? Grieving comes in many different ways, and understanding that, like, a lot of people went through this when COVID happened, right?
Yeah.
When COVID occurred, everybody was locked in. So everybody was like, what are we doing? We don't get dressed. We don't get in our cars. We don't go. Like, some people are rooted in that identity of sitting in traffic for an hour to get to work and
Mm-hmm.
sitting in traffic, right? And that's part of your identity. People that lose an arm, or people that lose a part of their body,
Yeah.
they're grieving a person that they used to be.
Yeah.
And so that's why identity, being understanding who you are, right, is so important. And I think that this is why I have gone through those seasons,
Yeah.
right? I didn't want to identify as someone that had a mental illness. But if that was going to be my truth, then that was fine. But I knew that I needed to advocate for myself
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I took the steps that I did. Additionally, after that, I went through another shift and another shift, but now I knew how to recover from it quicker, faster, better.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why you say, I checked in on you while I was going through my thing, right? Because I was able, and this is why I'm not scared of going into this new season, even though I only got step 1 and 2,
Yeah.
because I know he got me. I know, listen, therapy and God, that's all I need. Therapy and God is staying hydrated.
Listen, drink your water, people. Look, that was so funny. You were like, and now I'm a housewife with sweats and a bun. And I'm looking at myself like, check, check, and check. I'm just like this housewife thing is a huge adjustment for me because I am used to being on the go, like the go, go, go. Like, I'm the boss, I'm running things, I'm paying salaries, I'm doing all of the things. And first of all, to be in a position where, like, I'm like, I can make anything happen, so it don't matter. But when I couldn't make this happen, like, I couldn't pull this out the mud, that was a part of my identity. Like, you are the person who can do it. If anybody can do it, you can. And when I couldn't do it, I was just like, yo, I'm a failure. Like, I'm not who I think I am. And I started to be like, I'm a fraud and I'm all of these things. And then to go to, like, I never trusted anybody. I didn't trust anybody, like, to be able to take care of me, like, not even my husband. So I would say things to him like, it's only love keeping me here. I would always make sure that I brought in enough to take care of all the bills in the house. And just the whole breaking from this business, like, I was just thinking today in the car, I was like, when my business broke me, I was shattered into all of these pieces. And because of the shattering, I saw the insecurities. I saw the ego. I saw the rude person. Like, I saw all of the things about me that I didn't think was me. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have been a horrible wife. Like, this man still with me? What? And I literally had to go back and eat all of the words that I said to him. I had to apologize. I had to have like a real moment with him. Um, and and now I gotta depend on him. I'm like, God, you are funny. Like, you are so
Yeah.
funny, because I'd be like, I need my eyelashes done. It's nail week,
Right.
and it was so hard for me to
Mm.
say those things. Like, the
Yeah.
mortgage is coming up. My car payment needs to be paid. Like, it was like pulling teeth, and I was still stressed and
Yes.
worried. And he was just like, "Girl," he said, "what is your problem? Like, you act like you in this by yourself, like you don't have somebody." And I was like, "You just don't understand what it feels like to be someone who is able to take care of everything, who is able to take care of themselves
Yeah.
and make things happen. To all of a sudden, you have to stop and you have to depend on everybody to do everything for you." Like, it was once that I
Yeah.
wouldn't even accept if anybody gave me anything or offered. I'd be like, "Oh no, I'm good." I was the one
Yeah.
who was quick. I was paying for everybody's food. And like, I'm sitting here now, like,
Mm.
well, if you gonna pay for it, thank you. You know what I'm saying? It was like God had to humble me. He had to bring me to a place that I was able to accept a blessing. Because if he didn't,
Yeah.
I would have never been able to really grasp the things that he wants to do for me in my life. I wouldn't have been able to
Mm.
handle the reciprocation that came from that. I wouldn't have been able to handle, like, the overflow that came for that, because I would look
Yeah.
like, "No, I got it. I don't need it." And he was like, "Let me get this fool together, because she gonna wreck her life." And now I spend most of my days taking kids to school, picking kids up. You know,
Hmm.
I ain't gonna talk about the kitchen because my husband still be cooking. I'd be like, "Look, that is not my ministry and it is not my calling. This is why I got this burn mark right here the other day trying to make a
Oh.
recipe." And I'm like, "See, the kitchen don't like me." And I'm not supposed to be there. But it's just a huge transition. And so,
Mm.
yeah, like, I'm still mourning. I'm still mourning the
Yeah.
person who I used to be. It's I can't even, like, my car. I barely drive my car. I can't even really drive it, because sometimes when I get in it, it's just like a remembrance of who I was. And I'm
Yeah.
like, it's not as worse as it used to be. But I'll drive it down the street to the store. But I'm like, I need to put it on Turo or something, because this junk just be sitting here. And it's the car that I always wanted. I went and bought me
Yeah.
a Lexus RX 350, and it sits in the driveway like for weeks at a time, unless my husband drives it. And I'm just like, I'm sometimes I still find myself like in a tired place sometimes. But the beautiful thing is I'm grateful for, like, all the
Yes.
feelings and all the things, and I'm grateful for the transition. And then this new person that I'm meeting and
Yeah.
I'm becoming, I'm like, I'm really starting to like her. Like,
Yeah.
she literally has the ability to move and not really be so impacted by what other people think. Like, it's literally me and God. What he says
Yeah.
do, I'm doing. And I don't care how people are going to think about it or how they're going to feel about it. Like, it's just happening. And I like being in that space.
I love that. I love that you shared all of that because this is so helpful, right? Like I want people to hear that all of these things happen. I mean, literally just like you. I just told you, I just shared with you guys like I left a corporate job, a 12-year finance career from I like literally risked it all for love, right?
Yeah.
Risked it all for love.
Yeah.
Like talking about somewhere I was like, hold up, I came into this marriage with 3 kids and then we had our own son. And so in my mind I was like, oh, I can't do this. Like
Yeah.
in my mind I was like, girl, you need to go home and figure this shit out. I don't know if it looks like burning CDs and selling them from your trunk. I don't know what this looks like.
Yeah.
But we're not
Yeah.
gonna be unemployed, right? And this is how my business got like this is how I birthed the business,
Yeah.
right? Because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't, what I knew is that I did not want to be a stay-home mom with a bun and doing all of that. But when I started accepting, humbling, I got humbled real quick when my husband was the main provider of everything. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it was like God was really like, listen, I am going to humble you because otherwise you're going to stumble. And
Yeah.
I had to be okay with that.
Rewind that for the
And
girlies again. Rewind that. Like, say that again.
you need to humble yourself before you stumble.
Yes. That's it
I
right
mean,
there.
it's like that. Yeah. But listen, I'm very proud of you. Like, and I tell you this all the time. I'm extremely proud of you because I know that what you're about to get ready to do is it is beyond you.
Yeah.
And I love that you said that you not sharing is you being selfish. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because the analogy that I like to share is some of you have gifts from God, and it's like literally driving in an ambulance fully equipped, ready to save people's life, and you're literally driving right by them and telling them, "Oh, I see you bleeding out, but I'm gonna catch you on the next one."
Woo.
That's what y'all doing.
Woo.
You could literally give the person a ride, let them come on the journey, but you're like, nah, see, I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Why y'all doing that?
That's heavy, Bo. That's heavy. Yeah.
That's exactly what a lot of people are doing.
Yeah.
We're driving around a fully equipped ambulance, not picking up folks.
Mm. It ain't about you. It is not about
Mm-mm.
you. It is literally about the people who you are being called to. And when you aren't in position, you right, those folks just bleeding out. Like they're gonna eventually get what they need, but how much blood do they have to lose to get it? Because you weren't there. I was like, God, I don't want them kind of responsibilities. Like, what you need me to do? Cause I don't want to leave here and then I gotta face you and you be like, Keisha, Janelle, Crystal, Henry, Margaret. Like you start listing all of the people who I missed because I didn't want to be obedient to your calling. And I'm like, mm-mm. And what I found out is once you start becoming obedient to your calling, once you start building that relationship with God, you literally start becoming like the version of yourself that He created you to be. Like you become your Jeremiah
Mhm.
29:11 person or your Jeremiah 1:5 person. And that person is totally different from who you think you are. Like when we like, well, I think this and I think that. I put today on my stories, I'm like, all of you out here who are saying your fantasy life isn't living your truth. Like, I'm just living my truth. No, no, you're not living your truth. You're living a idea of what you want the truth to be. But if you were really living the truth, then that comes with some pain. That comes with some trauma because you gotta die to some things. And I got it. I said, oh my gosh. I said, God, I understand the assignment. Like the assignment is to go through this life, right? But evolve into this person as I go through that you wanted me to be, because there are people who literally need me. I need to become her, healed, empowered, and reinvented. I need to be able
Mm.
to go when you say go. I need to be able to move when you say move. I need to be able to shift when you say shift. And if I'm not able to do that, nothing that I do in life will ever be sustainable. And I was like, that's why
Mm.
people can't get it right in entrepreneurship, because they are too afraid to
Absolutely.
become them. Michael Jackson already told these people like to look at the man in the mirror, and they don't want to do that. Like it
Mm.
it takes facing you and understanding all of you, like the good, the bad, the ugly,
Yeah.
and the disgusting, and really making an effort to
Hmm.
say, I want to transition this. I want to change this. God, who do you need me to be in this season so that I can fulfill the thing that you want me to do? Like
Yeah.
that's a level of vulnerability that a lot of people just aren't willing to to give God.
No. And the one thing I love is one of my favorite coaches says, your business is only going to grow as much as you're willing to heal.
Mm. Woof.
Okay. And so for me, that's a huge one, right? Because I was like, it really wasn't until I started healing myself that I realized, man, I know I'm not out here doing what I'm supposed to do because I'm scared of the camera. Or I know I'm not out here telling my story because I carry shame about it, or I carry, guilt, or I carry all the things. And the reality is, all of us do,
Yeah.
right? Some of us are trying to tell a story that we have not healed from yet. You're trying to tell a struggle story that you're still living. You need to heal that, right? I'm currently in this moment, I am currently going through a struggle story that I'm not able to share just yet. But
Yeah.
I'm still going to share a struggle story that I have already healed. And this is why
Yeah.
I'm able to tell that story,
Yeah.
right? Because, and again, the healing journey doesn't end, right? The moment that you heal, you end up uncovering some new shit. And then while you're still uncovering and uncovering, and it's like you never stop healing, but at least you do recover from it faster.
Yeah.
But at least you start listening with, you don't listen with offended ears. But at
Yeah.
least you're able
Oof.
to show up a lot more confidently,
Yeah.
right? And some of us are not giving ourselves permission to do that.
Mm.
And that's why we stay stuck.
Yes.
You're not letting her become her.
Period. Woo! Let me tell y'all. Now we gonna take a break and pass the collection plate right now because that was a word. Like that was a word. Jesus. Let me tell y'all. So speaking of speaking, Sandra is gonna be with us in August at the Becoming Her the weekend experience. And I saw somebody's comment was like, Sandra is stepping on toes. So come on and get some more of your toes stepped on because this is just light work in this live right here. Like, you know, she's really going to get deep into systems. And when we think of systems, like we just think of like systems for our business. And yeah, we need systems for our business. But why do we put systems in our business but don't put systems in our life? Like, why aren't we organizing the way that we do things, and why aren't we creating things to help our life flow? And going to therapy is part of your system. Like, what's going to make your life better? What's going to enhance your life as you are on your journey of becoming her? So she's gonna be with us that weekend. And let me tell y'all,
So
one thing I
excited.
say about conferences is I think it's the most slept on thing. A lot of people be like, I'm not going there. I don't want to pay for that. I don't want to do that. For me, conferences have been the best investment that I have made because of the people. Like, the knowledge is good, the information is good, but the experience, you can't put a
Mm,
dollar amount on the
mm,
experience or the people that you're going to meet. It's like coming to a hub full of like minded people that you instantly connect with and vibe with. And I've built so many relationships from attending conferences. And I'm like,
mhm.
y'all, you always talking about what you want to do, where you want to be, who you want to talk to. You got to be in the rooms with those people. Like, literally, you got to stop just Instagram is cool, but it's not enough. Like, when are you going to move to the next step? When are you going to say, I'm going to be in this space? Because, first of all, I want some of that anointing. I want some of that energy. Like, I want some of what they have to fall on me because I need y'all to understand what the overflow does. The overflow is exactly this. Whatever is dripping off of me, those people who are attached to are going to get that same drip because God is going to give me
Mhm.
everything that I need, and He's going to give me enough for those who surrounding me or who was attached to me. So, y'all, be in the room. Like, that's all I'm gonna say, be in the room because we are shifting, we are releasing, we are building, and we are becoming. August the 11th through the 13th. I'm too excited that Sandra is gonna be there. Like,
I am so excited. Listen, I'm
get ready for the
happy.
room
I'm
to be
so
toe up.
excited.
Like, just get ready for the room to be towed up. That's all I'm gonna say. I
That's all
promise
I'm
you.
saying.
Yeah, you're not gonna leave the
Bring some,
same.
I'm gonna need y'all to bring some extra good glue,
Yeah,
lash glue or whatever, or bring no lashes
yeah.
because
No lash. Don't
that's
even
gonna
wear
have
them.
some edge control. That's a must. All of the above.
Tie them wigs
Um,
down.
right. I think this is gonna be the most amazing transformational weekend. I'm excited for your people. Excited. And I
Thanks.
know that what you're bringing in, and it's not just about me, like, it's about all the things that you're doing. And it's like you said, you guys want access and proximity, you need to pay to play, right? And it's not about all this free stuff, it's not about all the free information, it's about literally having access and proximity to people,
Yes.
right? And getting in a room that's going to elevate you, and getting in a room that's going to transform you, because your friends will leave you the way you are.
Yep.
We don't want to leave you the way you are. We want to help you change. And that's what I'm excited about, that you're going to come, you're going to get the breakthrough, confirmation, whatever revelation that you need to be able to elevate to the next level.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen from sitting in the sidelines. That happens when you pay for access and proximity.
Yeah.
So get in the room.
Yeah. Listen, y'all. I just keep thinking about like the woman of the bleeding woman. Like, she paid to be in that space because we're talking about Jesus walking in all of these people, right? How this woman got close enough to touch the hem of his garment. Let's like, I don't even think we think about that enough. Like, she understood the power of proximity. Like, where did she have to come through? How many people did she have to maneuver through? How long did she stay there waiting for the Messiah to come through? Like, you have to pay to play. It is going to cost you. And I think if we understand that what goes out comes in, because most people live in a place of scarcity. And it's like, if I pay this, if I do this, if I go here, if I invest in this, I'm not getting that back. And literally, for me, what that says is I don't trust myself enough, or I don't trust the person who God created me, or I don't even trust God to be able to do the things that He says He's going to do. So I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna hold my money like this, because money literally, and I'm talking about money because first I'll be like, I don't want to be talking about money all the time. But it's literally the number one thing why people won't go and get the thing that they're supposed to get, because they will say, I don't have enough money, or I'm scared, or they are too fearful to invest their money into whatever it is that they want to do. And I'm like, if you know that's where you're supposed to be, if you know that's what you want to do, if you know that's where you want to go, why wouldn't you sow a seed into yourself? We quick to sow a seed, you pay your tithes in church, you quick to sow a seed for healing. Like,
Yeah.
you quick to give Louis, Gucci, Fendi, Prada, Starbucks, I am guilty, Target,
New
yeah,
iPhones.
new iPhones, all the people, you invest in all of those businesses, but you do not invest in yourself, and you do not say, this is what I need. And so I know by
Mm,
coming here and being in the place and sowing into myself, the principle is that what I sow, I reap. So if I
yeah.
believe in myself that I can put this in and I'm going to get a harvest, right? I'm going to connect with the people I need to connect with. I'm going to get the resources that I need to get. I'm literally going to get the soul work, the spirit work that I need. Like, you don't even have to worry about whatever it is that you have to pay to get into any room. And I'm not even just talking about this event. Any event that you may have been thinking about going to, any coaching program that you've been thinking about investing into, like, it is a necessity. But
Hmm.
be sure that you're investing in something not because the person is notable, right? Because there's a lot of notably fake people who their main intentions is to take your money, and that's it. They're looking at you as a consumer. That's a consumer. Let me see how much I can get out of them. You really need to be in prayer and ask God to like direct you into which rooms that you need to go to, connect with which people you need to connect with, and like looking at that person and saying, Do I see any similarities? Like, what is their mission? Do any of my values and beliefs align with what they have going on? Vet people, like, research things and then make the investment, and then you will feel a little better about spending
Yeah.
your money. But money flows. Money is a resource. It's a river. Like, it leaves out and it comes back in just as quick as it goes out. So we got to change that mentality there, folks. But what my prayer is, I've been asking God, I said, my intentions is to have 65 women in the room. And I said, God, send me the right 65 people. Like, I'm not out here just like, okay, who want to buy a ticket? Y'all come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Because I just want to get these ticket sales so I can post that this event sold out. No, God, send me the right 65 people in this
Yeah.
room who are literally ready to be changed. They're ready to be healed. They're ready to be delivered. They are ready to enter the entrepreneurial world when they leave there as her. Like, it's going to be the beginning of the best years of their life. Send me those 65 people, not just anybody, God. I don't need just anybody in the room. Like, I need game changers in the room. I need atmosphere
Yeah.
shifters in the room. I need people in the room who, like, I understand my superpower. And it's
Mm.
time for me to stop hiding it. Like, I'm so serious
Yeah.
about that. Like, that is my prayer. And if it don't be 65, which I got a strong feeling it will be the way we've been moving, um and I'm not opening up to, like, I can hold up to 90, but I'm not. Like, God gave me the number 65, and that is what we're doing. So if you're not in the 65, we'll see you next year. Um, but because I can't even put it in words. Like, it's a feeling that I have and a vision that God has given me that I can't quite yet articulate. And it's probably because
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I need to show people myself. Like, that's where you need to be. So, but I'm
I'm
grateful
excited.
that you're going to be in the room. And when I prayed, because we're supposed to do
Thank
Elevate
you.
Her. And Elevate Her was
Yeah.
so wrong. It was so wrong on all levels. God was like, scratch that foolishness right now. Because you still trying to do what I do different what I told you. He was like, okay, bet. I bet you it won't happen. Like, hurt my feelings.
You're like, okay, psych.
Yeah. And so now I'm like, oh my gosh, I signed this contract. I got all this. And I'm just like, all right, God, well, it's up to you. Like, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
And I just would not put anything out there until I knew what it was. And then when I did the retreat, I was like, I had people like asking about a retreat. And I was like, all right, well, I put Elevate out here. We're going to do a retreat. We're going to have 10 people here. And then he gave me the whole download of becoming her. And he said, now they came off of Elevate Her, but you doing becoming her. And I said, okay. So I told them when they got there, I said, y'all, I know y'all came for Elevate Her and all what I put out there. I said, but God gave me a new curriculum and He told me to give it to y'all. Like, I'm going to present this
Mm-hmm.
to you all. And they were game. They were like, oh, we ready. And I was like, okay, God, I see how you move. And when I gave it to them, the 3 days of what happened in that room
Mm.
was only God. I'm talking about people literally being delivered from things that have been holding them bondage for years. It was literally a place where people were able to release. Yes, Ashley was there, and I'm looking
Mm.
at these women on social media, and I'm like, oh,
You
these
did
ain't
that.
the same babies who showed up, in that hotel room in March, like, or April, whatever it was. These ain't the same women. Like, these women have literally blossomed, and we were just in a safe place, and that's what in Greenville. That's why I'm like 65 people because it still needs to be a safe place. Um, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God, like, okay. And he said, now this is what the conference is going to be. Now you push this. And so I was like, all right.
Mm.
So I drew up came up with the logo and started playing around with some things. And the
It
day
looks
I dropped
beautiful.
it, like, Instagram is still sending me stuff like, this is your highest performing post. And I was like, that definitely was God. Like it was
Yeah.
nobody but God, because I dropped elevate her and it was like, it's a little quiet over here. And then we
Can
just
we
dropped,
also
huh?
can we acknowledge though that like you're saying they got delivered, but you know why they got delivered? Because of your
Mm,
obedience. Some people's deliverance is on the other side of your obedience,
yes.
right? And so it's so beautiful that you're showing, like literally, this is it. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it, right?
Mm.
I'm so proud of you, man. I'm so proud of you. And I'm not saying that because we homies, but I'm proud of you. I'm
Thank
excited for
you.
you.
Me too. Ugh, I'm just like, and then the people around me are shifting too. And I'm like, I see what you're doing, God. I see. Like, it's an
Yeah.
army. Like, y'all just catch the wave. Sit it out if you want to. You're going to have to wait a long time for the wave come back. That's all I'm going to say. Like, the same people that you see in a year, 2 years, you're going to be like, oh my God. Like, the level of elevation that has
Mm,
occurred. So I'm excited for you too, coach. Like,
thank you.
cause that ain't easy
And
to
this is
do.
why the people need to come get it, because I don't know if this is in this next season. I'm gonna be doing this shit in Spanish. I don't even know what's
Right?
happening.
Oh,
All I
yes. Yes. Lip, you English speaking folk who are not of a Latino or Spanish descent,
know. Right.
y'all better show up in August and come and get it while you could get it, because she already told us what the Holy Spirit told her to do. And she's going back to her, she's going back. And this, when you said that, it was like, God got a sense of humor. He's literally
Yeah.
like, he brought you
He's
all the way
hilarious.
around to bring you like literally back to who you are, like serving the essence of who you are. I'm like,
He
man,
funny. I'm telling you, he has
yes,
me. That's my homie, but he's funny as hell. I'm like, wow.
yes. Yeah, that's why I'm gonna stay a little rough around the edges, you know. I could be classy, but I'm a little ghetto and I'm a little hood too. And he bringing me back to those people. Like my spiritual mother was like, you better not change. Like as we grow, we change who we are, but you don't change who you are. You change your characteristics and your posture, but you don't change who God created you to be. And so she was like, because
Yeah.
you are going to be able to reach people that high level or very religious people cannot reach. And I'm like, dang, I'm about to be walking in the crowd like Jesus. Like, I just, like, Jesus was like, he was not like the Pharisees. You know what I'm saying? He was like, nah, I'm down here in the streets with the people. I'm over here with the people who got disease, who's sinning. I'm in the room with the tax collector. Like, my posse, all of them got serious issues, but I'm their guy though. You know what I mean? I'm like, that was the real OG. That was gangster. That was some gangster stuff. Like we gangster recognized gangster. Jesus was gangster. Be like, and to tell
That's
you
funny.
quick. Yes, guys. So we're gonna wrap it up because I do not want to hold up any more of Sandra's time or your time. But I thank you guys so much for rocking with us, tuning in. We will repost this so that you can go back and you can watch the replay. Would you like for me to just tag you or collaborate?
Oh, you could do whatever's easy. Collaborate. It's good.
Okay.
It'll show up on my feed, and girl, I haven't posted in long. So yes, collaborate.
Okay. So you'll be able
Let's
to find it
repurpose this
on
content.
both of our pages.
Both.
If you aren't following Funnels with Sandra, like, go follow her when y'all get off this live. I think you might be able to, during the live, like, click follow. I think so. If
Yep.
you can, like, go ahead and follow, like, right now. Um, get on her page, start commenting, start asking her questions, like, start engaging. You know what I'm saying? Because get your access while it's there. because pretty soon those posts gonna be showing up in Spanish and y'all ain't gonna be knowing what she say. So so y'all better get it while you
That
can get
part.
it.
Oh gosh. Well, I love you.
Oh
Thank you so
yeah.
much. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
you.
Thank you for accepting. Thank you for coming to be a part
Yes.
of the Becoming Her experience. And so this is going to be good, y'all. So this won't be the last live. We'll probably do another live a little later down the road, just to kind of like keep y'all going, keep feeling y'all, so I could bring Sandra on here so she can step on y'all toes like a little bit more, drop those gems for you guys, just kind of do a check-in and an update, and y'all tune in. I don't know who it's gonna be next week, but it'll be somebody. We
All
just
right.
flowing here. So I'll see you
I'm
guys
here for
later.
it.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Love y'all. Mean it.
Bye.